Well, you see why I believe Attorney General DeWine is one of the very best Attorney Generals of Ohio. His leadership on this initiative, I think, goes without saying how important it is for Ohio. Thank you, Attorney General DeWine. I'm here also joined by my good friend, the Speaker. But I'm here not just as Senate President, I'm also here as a dad. And I brought one of my two kids with me today, Brooke, who is 9, starting 4th grade. Brooke, what do we say when somebody offers you drugs? No, right?
That was a no.
She was working on that line all day.
She did it though.
Now I'm going to get in trouble for putting her on the spot.
No, she's good.
You know what? It's very important. The best way to treat somebody who has a drug addiction problem is to never get them to start. Because the downstream treatment programs at their best are less than 100% successful. So this program, I think, is designed to evaluate, to look at, to improve what we're doing to keep people from starting drugs as one of the assets that we have to try to move Ohio forward. We know that opiate addiction knows no boundaries, knows no ages, and knows no income levels. It is literally a problem in every facet of Ohio life. Today we hear stories about pain and suffering, addiction, and all the dilemma that comes not just for the addict, but for their families. It's a battle we must fight together. As a parent, teachers in our community, community leaders, legislators, I'm very proud that we've all come together to support Attorney General DeWine in this effort. We know that early education is a key, and our schools can and should play a very important role. However, it's not just our schools that have the responsibility to address this problem. It's parents, it's grandparents, it's communities, it's neighbors, it's aunts, it's uncles. Just like we did when we were teaching our children that smoking is bad for their health, or that bike helmets save lives, we need to stay strong, unified, and consistent in our message that drugs will devastate their lives and jeopardize their very futures. They need to hear it at home, they need to hear it at school, they need to hear it at church, on the ball fields, they need to hear it when they're visiting their friends and spending the night. Wherever there's a teachable moment, we need to continue this communication effort. I appreciate all the people that are taking part in this effort. I'm proud that Senators Eaker and Eklund and Yuko representing the Senate and all over Ohio, other legislators and the members across the state that have joined this study committee, both from community, from government, and from business, that they are here to try to lead this effort, educate, find solutions, and essentially continue us down the path, stamping out drug abuse. As part of this, we will be in our communities all across the state. As the Attorney General said, we have a very tight timeline for them. But if they need more time, we'll give them whatever time is necessary. I specifically want to give a shout out to Sheriff Solomon from my district. Good to see you, Sheriff. I was just at his county fair, and I can tell you they do things right over in Auglaize County. But look, this is a problem that affects Auglaize County. It affects Mercer County. It affects all 88 counties. So with that, let me recognize and call up my good friend, the Speaker, who will identify the House members and have a few comments.
Thank you. I, too, want to take the opportunity to truly thank Attorney General DeWine for his leadership. It was a few months ago that the Attorney General approached me and said, look, Cliff, there's got to be an avenue here to have a conversation on truly taking the opportunity to focus in our efforts on how do we make sure we're doing the best appropriate things to educate not just, to be frank, not just the children that are in our K-12 systems, but our communities. And I think that's the most important thing about this task force. I think it's the most important thing about what we have here with this joint study committee, because at the end of the day, the education level needs to happen throughout our entire communities, not just through our kids, but through the parents, through those that are in it. And quite frankly, it's time for our communities to stand up and just say no. I remember actually as a student growing up to the 80s, the DARE programs, the DARE drug officers, the ability to have not only those DARE officers in your classrooms constantly and showing you what the different drugs look like, but beyond that, The opportunity also to see those DARE programs. I can remember them having concerts in Wilmington, and all the school groups would come together, and these would be pretty substantial concerts with folks that were in the communities to speak up against drugs and make sure that we continued on Nancy Reagan's campaign of Just Say No. I remember those green T-shirts with the white lettering and bolded on it. But as in society, from time to time, when things start to become better, we seem to wane back and believe that we're good, nothing needs to happen, and we start to lose those, and it goes off to the wayside. And while DARE is still out there, I don't think it's as prevalent. And while our sheriffs have done everything they can, and our local law enforcement continue to try, I think it is important as we continue to go forward that this is something that we not only look forward into the future as something that should be a staple, but something that we continue to have in our communities and through our schools. And that we also focus and recognize that it cannot only be from the kindergarten getting on the school bus, it has to be everyone in between from that kindergarten getting on the school bus for the very first time to, quite frankly, the college graduate receiving the diploma. Because it's just as rampant and important to make sure we're looking at all facets of education. Importantly, I'm extremely proud of the members of the Ohio House that have had the opportunity to participate in this. Last General Assembly, Speaker Batchelor had the ability to put forward a opioid study committee, which Representatives Sprague and Smith led across the state, which you cannot be more appreciative of, but led to significant reforms and changes over the course of the last 3 years that we've been in the General Assembly, from the treatment level, the education level, to even to making sure that we get students to understand through Representative Sprague's Good Samaritan law that he's been working on, that if there's a problem, we need to report it so we can save lives. These are all a huge part of a package of what we have to do to continue to ensure that we're doing the right thing, but the first and best thing that we can do is ensure that the education is prevalent and available, and that we're doing everything to help. And this is why I'm so appreciative of this task force to be a part of. I really appreciate Representative Sprague, Representative Johnson, and Representative Bischoff who will participate with these folks. It's a tight timeline. It's a lot of commitment, but I think our communities and I think our students and our future, it's important to give that time commitment. This meets no socioeconomic means. It happens from the most well-off families to the poorest of families. I've seen it in Pike County. I've seen it in Hamilton County. I've seen it in Indian Hill. Attorney General seen the same thing. It's an issue that we have to take seriously, and for our families and our communities, make sure we wrap our arms around them and find ways to continue to tackle this at every level, from the treatment level to the prevention level and the education level. As we continue to go forward and focus, we have to look for ways to how we also look at what we currently have established throughout our systems. And I hope this committee will take the opportunity to look at those current programs that we have and find ways to make them more effective, more efficient, and work in tandem together to make sure that we're looking at ways to really strike at ensuring that, yes, even the kindergartner student from the first time coming in has the appropriate education on this issue, to the college student, as I said, that's getting ready to graduate, but also in our communities to helping our parents, grandparents, and aunts and uncles, and everywhere in between, help ensure that this is something. But this is also important for community leaders. And what I want to do is also take a minute to thank Governor Kasich for his Let's Start Talking program and all that he has been able to do with that, because it is important too that this, I believe, this task force also look at ways how we engage community members to make this a constant reminder in every event that we have in every part of our communities. Whether it's the mural parking lot get together in Wilmington, or whether it's the big concert that's happening in Akron, wherever it's happening, we have to always continue to be talking about this. So I'm extremely grateful to be a part of this and to help in the Attorney General's efforts here in partnering with the Senate, the Governor, and Attorney General to make sure that we put our families first, that we look at ways to continue to provide and prevent this horrific epidemic that's striking through our country. And the best and surest way to do that is to make sure that we are educating our future, so that as we continue, our state's future will be stronger and our country's future even stronger from that. So thank you very much, and with that, I do believe